everybody, it's me, Undead Viking. How you doing today? The game I'm reviewing today is called Lost Legacy, the Starship from AEG. Now, you might recognize this little baggie from the game Love Letter, a little tiny card game they came out with last year, or was it? Yeah, it was last year, that went over like gangbusters. And much like that game, this game is... basically, these are all the cards that you have in this game. And much like Love Letter, this is a game that has within itself a game of deduction and a game of playing cards. And you can teach the game in about 5 minutes. And Love Letter went over like crazy with my gaming group. And I was really excited to give this one a try out because I wanted to see, you know, how well that would. Love Letter, it was one of those games that, it was not that it was like something that had never been done before. I remember recently, if you saw my video that I did with Scott Nicholson, I mentioned to him, I said, you know, it's like, wow, you know, Love Letter is really great, and he then proceeded to school me and show me that, well, yes, but that was a game derivative of this game and this game that had been done already. And so he didn't understand why everybody was just kind of like going crazy for this new stuff. It wasn't so much that the games themselves were bad, it's just that he was wondering how like people were so excited. But then again, you know, some of the older games that those kinds of ideas that were based upon have long since, you know, gone to the out-of-print status, and nobody really knows they exist anymore. But regardless, Lost Legacy, the Starship, is functionally a game where you are trying to make sure that you either knock everybody else out of the game, or that you are able to locate the Starship, if you will. So just like in Love Letter, you either trying to knock everybody else out, or you are trying to be the one to make sure that your letter gets into the princess's hands. So it isn't going to take me long at all to teach you how to play this game. Mostly, it's just like before. You have a card in your hand, you draw one, then you have to decide what you're going to do. You got to play one of the two cards that you have. There is an added aspect of the game where there is kind of like a junkyard of cards where the Starship might be hiding. And so if the game actually gets to the point where all the cards are used, then you actually have an action where each person then gets to try to look and try to find the Starship and guess where it is. And you can either guess one of the spots that are on the board, one of the cards that is hidden in the junkyard, or you can guess a person that has it. And if like you have the Starship, it's pretty easy to guess. You say, I think the Starship's me! Yeah, I'm right! So, anyway, so let me show you exactly how to play the game. Like I said, it isn't exactly difficult by any means whatsoever. And then I will come back and I'll tell you exactly what I think of Lost Legacy, the Starship. This is the deck of cards you get with Lost Legacy, and this is the entirety of the deck of cards. You also get the baggie and the rules, like I showed you, and also these 4 player aids that you get so people can know how to play the game as they're playing the game. But this game is not tough to learn, and after you teach it to somebody, they should be good to go. To begin the game, you shuffle this deck, which is easy enough. Shuffle it up, and then you're going to take one card and place it in the ruins. You don't look at it, just put it off to the side like that. You have no idea what that card is. So, and then each person takes one card. I'm going to deal these cards face up, even though normally these wouldn't be face up. People keep these secret. So we're just going to hand out these cards, and like so. I'm just going to grab one of these cards and show it to you so you can see what the parts are. So this is a search card. It has this instructions down here. Look at any card in the ruins. You may exchange that card with your hand. You notice it's a number up here and also these dots. The number of dots tell you how many of those cards are in that deck. So there's 3 search cards in the deck. The 7, if there is at least 2 players left and all the cards have been played, what happens is you have a deduction phase where everybody tries to figure out where the Starship is. And so you start with 1 and go to 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. And so, like, if this person had this card in their hand at the end of the game and he got to 7, they would get to try to guess where the Starship was. So it's good to have a lower number when the end game comes. So, to begin the game, you draw a card, and then you pick a card to play, just like in Love Letter. So this person's going to draw this. They're going to have these 2. Sneak attack card has an X, meaning that if you have this card in your hand at the end of the deduction phase, you're not going to get to pick, so you're going to lose regardless. And if this card is in your hand and is looked up by another player, discard this card and you get the hand of that player, and that player is also eliminated. So you knock somebody else. That's a good card to have in your hand. So we're going to go ahead and take the search, and you look at any card in the ruins, and you may exchange it with your hand. So let's just go ahead and see what the ruins card is. So the ruins card is an assault card. An assault is an 8, and if you assault, you look at another player's hand, and you may exchange that card with your hand. Well, I want to keep the sneak attack card, because it's a very good defensive card, and if somebody looks at it, then they're going to be kind of boned. You're going to knock them out of the game. So the next person goes. They already have a sneak attack card. They draw one. They draw an assault card. Well, it's always good. You know, assault is actually, you can do something. You can play a sneak attack card, but it doesn't do anything. And in some situations, you'll have to. Because like if you have the Starship card, you can't play it. And if you have the Starship card and a sneak attack card, then you have to play that card. So they're going to play the assault card. And they're going to, like, say, look at this. They'll look at this person's hand. And so it's the swordsman, look at another player's hand. If it has an X, the X effect is canceled and that player is eliminated. Well, ew. So, you know, we don't want to do that. So, and also, if we have the X in our hand, we know this person would have it. And so we're going to go ahead and say, yeah, you know what? You can go ahead and have that sneak attack card, and you better hope it doesn't come back to my turn and you have that card in your hand, because I'm going to attack you and knock you out. So this person now is like, well, I know you have the swordsman, so now I need to make sure I get rid of this card somehow. So the next person goes, they draw a card. They have the search card, and they also have an old map card. The old map card, you look at the top of the deck, and then you place it in the ruins, and you shuffle the ruins. Old map is a cool card because if you know somebody knows what's in the ruins, then you can mess with them a little bit. And so you can, by looking at a card and putting it in there, and then you know what card that is. But it's a pretty... I wouldn't use it right away. I would use the search card so we're both on the same level as far as ability. So we're going to go ahead and search. We're going to look at what the card is. As we said before, it's an assault. So we'll just go ahead. We're gonna take it, but you'd always want to. With that, it's like you look at any card. As with all these games, like you can take these and you can put them underneath the thing and you can shuffle them so they don't know which one you're putting back. We're going to keep the old map, but we're going to place that assault card back in there, like so. And so now we get to the sneak attack, and now we got to hopefully we can get rid of this somehow. So we're going to draw one, and we have an assault card. So this is actually not so bad because we know that person has, once again, we can just do the exact same thing back to them. So look at another player's hand, you can exchange that card. So that's a quick and easy fix. I'm going to look at your hand. We both know what we both had. We give that sneak attack card back to you, and now they have to sweat out the fact that I have the swordsman and I know they have the sneak attack. And now these two people are probably laughing right now, and everybody else is like, wow, what's the joke? What's the joke? So we get over here and we have the sneak attack as well. And this stinks because if you get two sneak attack cards, you have to play one and it does nothing. So you just play that. Now people are actually kind of thinking maybe that person has the Starship in their hand. Who knows? And so this person goes, they have the sneak attack card, and they get the old map. Well, that kind of bites because of the fact that, you know, we know this person is going to look at our hand. And so we have to keep the old map. And the old map card is kind of fun to play, but we need to get rid of the sneak attack card. So we play that sneak attack card as well because we don't want to get knocked out by the swordsman player. So here we have the old map. We draw a card. Sister of Fate. Sister of Fate says, if this card is in your hand and is looked at by a player, you are eliminated. Well, you can't, but it's got a 1 on it. So it's one of those things where, like, well, are they going to look at my card or whatever? You want to kind of get rid of it. You don't want to play it, so, but I never like keeping the Sister of Fate card in my hand. So get rid of it, ditch it, put it down. It doesn't do anything when you play it, but at least then you can't get knocked out. So the swordsman is going to go. They know that person doesn't have it, so they have that. So they get a search card. So look at any card in the ruins, and you can exchange your card with that hand. Well, everybody else has looked at that, so let's look at it ourselves. So we look, we know it's an assault card. We're going to keep the swordsman, though, because that's a pretty good card. So sneak attack, and there's the... Now there's the Starship. So we now, once again, we have to play one of these cards. So we play the sneak attack card. And now people are like, okay, that guy's got to have the Starship. At this point, pretty much everybody assumes that he does. And so this person will go, they're going to draw the general, and they're going to keep the general card. Why? Because of the fact that pretty much everybody knows that, and it's got a low number on it. And so they're going to go ahead and keep that one in their hand. They're going to play old map. You look at the top card of the deck, and this is actually a perfect hand for this player right here. He looks at the top card of the deck, and then he places it in the ruins, and then I may shuffle the ruins. He doesn't even care what this is. It's like, okay, it's a Shadow Thief, whatever. Shadow Thief is kind of cool that if you actually find the Starship prior to the game, all the cards going on, you can win if you find the Starship using this. But he puts it in the ruins, we say any ones. This person now is bemoaning the fact that he used played the Sister of Fate card because if they still had that, they would be able to pick first. They can't. Any twos, I say the Starship is over here. Bam, they've won that round. So there you go. That's pretty much all the cards. Then you can reveal these and show them to the people that didn't know it. But there you go. That's kind of how that game progresses. It doesn't take a long time. It has some fun little card play like I had with these two guys trading the cards back and forth and kind of laughing about it. And it's one of those games, too, where it's just like you get done and you say, okay, one more time, let's play. Because you can shuffle it and deal it and be ready to play in like 2 minutes and play again. But there you go. That's how you play the game. Let me tell you exactly what I think of Lost Legacy. Alright, so there you go. Now you know how to play Lost Legacy Starship. Now you'll notice that the backs of these cards actually say just Lost Legacy on them. But you'll notice that this is called Lost Legacy Starship. Now the thing is that what's going to happen is that they're going to actually have more Lost Legacy games that come out. And so there's going to be more decks of cards that you can combine to make a bigger game. And so you can then split them out. You can pick which card. I think you can pick which cards you want to use and so on and so forth. Now, functionally, like I said, the game works pretty much like Love Letter. It has that extra thing with the junkyard or the ruins that you're digging through to find the card. And there's some tricky things you can do or whatever like that. And it does have the same thing going for it that I really liked about Love Letter. The fact that I can teach it really quickly, it doesn't take too much to grasp, and as the game gets played, you kind of start having the game kind of unveil itself to you. You kind of learn some tricks and stuff like that. I still remember the first time when I played Love Letter, and I, guessed somebody, had like played a guard, and I guessed somebody had like a princess when I myself had the princess. It's like one of those things where you can kind of try to throw yourself off. I was like, oh, that's pretty clever. I'm going to do that. And so that has that aspect to the game as well. Which card you keep, which card you play, and so forth. And so I do like that part of it. Now, the one problem I have with this game is that for whatever reason, and I know this sounds kind of ridiculous, is that we're kind of dealing with like this world that we're in. And it's like thematically, and I realize the theme shouldn't really matter to me that much because, it is just a really simple card game. But thematically, I wasn't able to really buy into the theme very well. I don't know what the deal was. It was just kind of like, it just felt off for me. With Love Letter, I mean, I realized that they were kind of basing it on that line of games, AEG, that weird fantasy world they had created, and I kind of liked that they were trying to do something new, trying to do something different. And I really appreciated that about them. I did, some of the games I didn't really enjoy, but I did like the fact that they were actually trying to make a board game world, which, and not like, one game was the board game world. And I liked that idea. And I kind of bought into it, actually, because of the fact that when we played Love Letter, we had a lot of fun with it. It's like, oh, who's the princess going to talk about in the morning over breakfast? And we would laugh and joke about it, and it was a game that we could have fun with, and we had a lot, and we could, kind of use that theme to like goof around with the game. Now, and it doesn't make the game not fun, because I definitely have enjoyed playing this with my friends. It just, I guess when it came down to it, I'd rather play Love Letter. And, I don't feel like this game is different enough for me to replace the game, that game earlier. Now, I'm really excited to see what they come out with as far as the two, I know there's two, like, Lost Legacy, not really expansions, because I think they're going to be standalone games as well. But I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with those, and they're going to, to make a bigger deck and have different options. I can't imagine they're going to have a ton of cards, but I like the idea of maybe they're being able to have more than 4 players. I like the idea that, maybe it's something where you can build a deck and, like, kind of put together a gaming experience on your own and things like that. And so I'm kind of excited to see what they do with it. And honestly, I mean, like, this little deck of cards, I think it's like $10 or something like that. So it's not really a very expensive game. And I do think it's just different enough from Love Letter to make it stand out and, and enjoyable. And I do really like the kind of weird deduction moment of the game. I actually enjoy it a lot more if, like, people have, like, the best part, I think, the best ending to the game is when the Starship is in the ruins.
and nobody is exactly sure which card it is. And so that's kind of a fun moment when you have like at least 3 people left, and it's like, okay, where's the ruins? And you're picking the card or picking the person. And I think that's like, that ending of the game, of this one, is way better than the ending of Love Letter, in my opinion. You know, end of a round. And so, if I could somehow get that ending to happen every single time that I played this, then, you know, I'd probably enjoy this game more than I do Love Letter. But just because I feel the kind of weird disconnect from the theme, and that I just, you know, I feel that, you know, Love Letter just has that kind of, has more of a social draw to it, you know, as far as my gamer group is concerned. You know, this one, it's like Love Letter is, as far as like little tiny you know, subtle subterfuge deduction games. It's like Love Letter's here, and Lost Legacy's like right here. You know, so they're really close. But you know, if push comes to shove, I'm gonna pick Love Letter first. But that could change with the expansions when they come out. So I'm gonna cross my fingers, and I hope they're gonna come out with some cool expansions for it. And I hope that it turns out to be even better. So there you go. That is my take on Lost Legacy by AEG. If you have any questions about the game or anything like that, by all means post those. I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, you, all together now, have an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.